Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blow the Whistle Sports. I'm your host, Wayne Holloway, and thank you once again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share. And like always, if you want to see something on the show or you have a bright idea, drop them in the comments below or hit us on any one of our social media outlets. Holler at us, we holler back. Oh my goodness, it is 7:01 on a Wednesday, Los Angeles, California. You know about our fire situation out here. The Much thanks to all the fire department trying to get things together, and uh, we have all this ash in the air, and we just trying to get somewhat back to normal out here in California. Our prayers goes out to all the firefighters fighting these fires, these multiple fires. But without further ado, let me introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Steven Rubain. How you doing, sir?
Oh man, yeah, much better than last week. Much better than last week. I'm just thankful like things are starting to calm down because we just went through so much here in LA with these fires. So
Yes, sir.
and one thing, sports is always a buffer. It always gives you that ability to get an escape for a while. So thankfully, we had all these games this weekend. I mean, that was really what helped me get through the week because the week was pretty tough. I'm not going to lie to you. Some parts were pretty tough, but having those games to fall on, man.
Where you at? Did you get any evacuation orders?
Yes, we did. We did have one for a while. There was a fire set real close to where I live, but thankfully our great firefighters were able to put it out real quick, and so didn't have to leave the house. We just had to wait and wait on standby. So,
But our hearts and prayers go out to all the ones that's been displaced by the fire and have to relocate to loved ones' homes or even shelters. We're thinking about you, and we want everything to get back to normal soon.
absolutely, absolutely. This fire has reminded me, out here in '94 with the Northridge earthquake. That remember when the earthquake hit and there was
Yeah,
just that constant aftershocks and aftershocks and aftershocks and
that
just not
uncertainty.
knowing uncertainty.
Yeah,
And so this is how it's been feeling this last week with these fires. And so yeah, we got to stay strong. Like I said, support our firefighters, support our first responders,
and
support those who
stick
need support.
together.
Stick together. This is not time for playing the blame game and playing all that politics. Right now, it's about healing. It's about finding help.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little tired of politics myself, anyway.
Absolutely. So let's get right to the sports. We're a sports show, but we always want to be on top of everything that is a human nature show. Sports is about human nature.
Exactly.
Some people are heroes and some people are villains. And it's true in the sports world. We're going to talk about heroes and villains on this sports talk show. So that being said, let's start with the NBA.
NBA
We're
news.
yeah, we're at the halfway point of the season. So today, it's been to me, it's been an uneven season. When I say uneven, there's been some good moments. Ratings are down from where they've been the last couple of years.
Right.
The NBA is in a transition mode. And I'm going to get into a little bit, just for a little short period, what's happening as, the NBA has been kind of carried. You'd agree, LeBron, Stephen Curry, Durant. For a while, we had Westbrook and we had James Harden were carrying the league. They're all now, in their late 30s. In the case of LeBron, he's 40. Their last game. I mean,
Well,
they're
we
still
we
playing
do got
strong.
Victor Wembanyama.
Well, we're gonna get to him in a second, but we gotta talk about because there's stars and there's superstars, and so right now our superstars are all towards the end of their career, and so the NBA needs to find that transition because, as you mentioned, one player there, Wembanyama, he's right now trying to find his way. I mean, he's definitely a star player, even when you argue a superstar player, but is he going to be that next generational player that people are going to fall behind and make it to that next level? Because that's where the NBA right now is in their trend. They have a bunch of names, but I'm going to go through some of these names, and I'm going to tell you what I think of each one of them real quick. The first one that people were like the super child. This was going to be the Greek freak when he came out in those early 20s, when he was like 21, 22. Everybody was just like, oh my God, he's just going to revolutionize the game. And he does have an NBA title, but I think he's been kind of a letdown. What do you think?
He hasn't been a character. He
Yeah.
hasn't been outspoken. You when you think about a superstar like Jordan, like a Magic Johnson, like a Kobe Bryant, like a LeBron James, and like a Steph Curry. You think of people that's in their community helping, the standouts that people are looking for their rookie cards in all these rookie breaks and buying cards to just to have them because they're superstars. They have that superstar aura about them. These players now that we're talking about, they're supposed to be superstars. They have that superstar isk about them, but they're not standouts. They're not outspoken. They're not dominant to where you're like, oh, I you can't see a whole arena being filled up just to go see them play a game.
Yeah.
And what's this young man's name?
Giannis the Greek Freak. So yeah, see, he's one. Another one who also got a ring last year, Jason Tatum. He's somebody else the NBA has been trying to push, but there's just something about his personality that just, I mean, he had the look you would think would be good for Hollywood. You know, he definitely has the game, but it's just something's lacking there. And in a city like Boston, the Celtics, you know, with their history, you would have thought he'd be bigger by now, but it's just kind of still a waiting game to see if
I
he'll.
believe it has to do with the generational thing. Um, this generation is like a non-caring. Um, uh, they 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 might be into their sport, but they don't have that it about them.
Yeah, yeah,
They're more like nonchalant. Don't want the camera on them. You already gave me the money. I didn't have to work for the money. A lot of these players got nice sums in the beginning,
right.
but it was a lot of work to it to get there.
Yeah,
The accomplishment for and reward is not matching like it used to, and I believe the nonchalant of these younger players, they need to be mentored to know how to step into their role and put their coat on and wear it properly.
yeah. Speaking of nonchalant, they got the Joker, Nikola Jokic. I mean, this is like a stat stuffing machine. He,
Right.
you know, won the title 2 years ago. It just looks like it's just so easy for him. He doesn't have, he doesn't have the speed. He's not someone who dunks on people. I mean, it just, for whatever reason, and it seems like he doesn't care about the spotlight, and so the NBA has a problem there.
And that's the thing. It's not just him. It's the younger players.
Right.
I'm a star already. I'm on TV. I, they don't have that swag about them. They don't
No.
have that way about them. They don't care.
Yeah.
They
And
they they have to help themselves. Help the NBA help them.
right, right.
It- it-
Yeah, and tying in the same level, Luka Doncic for the Dallas Mavericks is another one along the same lines as Nikola. He got the Hollywood looks. You would think that he'd be able to sell merchandise on that end. Great player, but just there's something lacking in him that doesn't take him to that next level of that people are going to go out and say, "Oh my God, I got to go watch him play." It's just, I don't know what it is. It just,
if they all have, I'm telling you,
yeah,
they all have this nonchalant way about them. Like, it is what it is.
yeah. And speaking of the most frustrating one, Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid, he wants to be a superstar. He has the personality, he has the image, but maybe it's the language barrier because he has an accent. He speaks a very thick accent. Something about him is just
See, we've had players like that before,
yeah,
and they still were huge.
huge. Yeah, it's just whatever reason people are just. I mean, I know with him he can't stay healthy. It's a big one, but yeah, it's just we have all these, like I said, all these great talented players, and they just don't seem to have that image. Now, you were just talking about the new generation of player that learned to come out in the last 2 years, 3 years. We got Zion Williamson. Now, this guy, he's just a total. I don't understand it. Number one, it seems like he's like the Deshaun Watson of the NBA. He
He's
got that
good.
contract. Yeah, he's good. Got that contract and like, I'm good.
I'm going to eat.
I'm going to eat. I don't need to play. I don't have any interest of if the less I need to play, I'm going to play as little as possible.
And I will point this out too. And I'm not speaking bad about the players because every decade, every era has their way about them.
Right.
Now the era I was telling you right before this era, that nonchalant way, like this new era is just like, we don't care.
Yeah.
If you give them the money, the showmanship stops.
Yeah.
They fade away. You don't see the greatness that you know the older players. I won't say showboat, but they used to show their skills and talents.
Yeah.
We'll never get another Showtime from anyone.
No.
I think the closest thing we had to it was the Splash Brothers over there that year, that they should have won it all, and they gave it away. You know,
Yeah.
I think that was the closest we got to another Showtime, and that was a far away example, because Showtime, they used to get into that paint.
Yeah.
And pass the ball back and forth, slam dunk, pass the ball, layup. You know, it was you love going to the game to see them play, because you know you were always going to get some showmanship and some character. These players now, it seems like the announcers, people like us that talk about them, talk about their character, but their character's never shown on the field anymore.
Yeah.
It's never shown in the field of player anymore. And shout out to Lamont Mahalia, Bird Gang in the building. Shout out to Charles Tunn. He said Cat in the building. They're both watching us on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about. We had two different extremes with those guys. The
Yeah.
Chargers. Ooh, we're gonna talk about you guys. We'll get you out in a few minutes. But the Eagles, we're gonna have to see what they're gonna do this
And
week.
we are gonna open the phone line, so
Yes,
stay
absolutely.
tuned,
Yeah.
because we want to get your opinion.
And we want your opinion on this, because are we right about what we're saying about these players? I mean, I watch these games and none of them are guys who are like, man, I gotta get home and watch this game because so and so's playing. It's just none of these guys are there. And speaking of a guy who really frustrated us, Ja Morant. Man, we wanted to believe in him, and then all that gun stuff, and it just hasn't been the same for him. And he still goes out there, he still balls out, but it's no, you can't trust him. It's like,
shout out to James Johnson in the building.
James Johnson, yes. Yeah, we want you guys to call in. We want to hear.
We're gonna open the phone lines very soon. But our question right now, we're talking about the NBA, and we want to know about these new players. Why don't they have that it, reiterating what I said and what we talked about a few minutes before? A Jordan, a Kobe, a LeBron. Why don't we have these type players? They have the build up when they come to the NBA, but once they in the NBA, why are we not running to the TV? Just I want to see what they're doing. We still watch the team play, but it's
not the same.
It's not the same like the NBA was. And we're gonna open the phone lines.
Yeah, we talked about this before. The NBA is a player driven league, whereas the NFL is a team driven league. You guys star players in the NFL, but people gravitate to their teams. If you're a Packer fan, you're gonna be a Packer fan no matter who's on the Packers. If you're a Cowboy fan, same thing. If you're a Panther fan, Commanders fan, Eagles fan, whatever, you live and die with that team.
Exactly.
And so when the NBA, though, you bounce around depending on what that player you like goes to. You might, there's of course some teams like the Lakers and Celtics who have their loyal fan bases, but the NBA has always been who are our superstars, who are the guys who are going to go to that next level. Now, we do got two guys who we still think could be the next two. And you mentioned one of them, Victor Wembanyama. He's 7'7", runs like a gazelle, has handles, shoots threes, can dunk on you, can block your shot.
Yes.
Everything's in play. It's just I don't know. It's that the French accent. I don't know if that's not working yet for him.
I think that works with the women a whole
lot.
For
the women a lot,
but
we're gonna see.
We want to see a superstar,
right?
Where they lined up to what they do go get the jersey, but
it's gonna be a question
where the hype is such of a level where the tickets are sold out arenas because they want to see Wembanyama play.
Yeah, and that's going to be the question in the next year or two. Can he take that mantle? He's one of the few ones who I think has the chance to do it. Another one is Anthony Edwards for the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Ant-Man.
Right.
He got a great nickname. He got to work on maybe his speech a little as far as being his presentation. so much of being a superstar is how, Jordan would not be Jordan if Jordan didn't articulate himself well. Was able to, when he spoke on the mic, spoke on interviews.
But that's a
he
different
sounded,
time, a different era.
Yeah,
You
but
would think that the NBA would have people in place
you would
to
think so.
mentor
Yes.
the young players and let them know this is what we need from you. This is what you need to do for your own brand
Right.
to be successful. You would think that would be a program.
You would think it'd be a program, but he's definitely better than what he was his rookie year in the league, where he was just it was tough to listen to him speak because it was just hard to listen to. But he's gotten better, but he definitely needs to work on that, because if he's going to be a face of the NBA, he has to be able to speak like Kobe, speak like LeBron, speak like Jordan, and carry the league. So
shout out to Darnell on Facebook.
Right, Darnell.
He's in the building.
We got a Cowboy. Is that a Cowboy fan?
No.
Oh, not that Darnell. Not that Darnell.
Oh,
okay, I was gonna
say. The Cowboys that call in the show have been very quiet.
Ooh, yes, very, very quiet. Oh, I wonder why. Why?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I haven't heard from a Cowboy fan all season. Well, I think one called in
early in the season, yeah, when they still had hope.
Yeah,
when they still thought there was hope in the team.
But we haven't heard too much from Cowboy fans.
Cowboy fans have gone.
But the question is, what's going on with our young NBA players, and why don't they have that it about them like Kobe, LeBron, and Michael Jordan? The number is 1-909-844-4443. We just want to ask you a couple questions before we go a little further.
Yeah,
we trying to find out what's going on with our NBA, because the NBA was. Grab the popcorn, go get something to eat, and shut the door. We about to watch this game, and it doesn't have that same feel anymore.
Doesn't have that same feel now. I mean, like I said, we always mention Jordan all the time. It wasn't just Jordan; it was Barkley.
Yes,
you can talk about the Shaqs and the Kobe.
Oh
era.
My goodness!
I mean, there was so many. Even the Chris Webbers stood out, and you had so many players that stood out during that era, and it's just
And see, that speaks out a ton right there. It was multiple names.
Yes.
Multiple names across the board, superstars that people wanted to see. Even if they weren't in the winning light right then, you still wanted to go see that player play that night, and they didn't even have to have a winning record.
Exactly. And you knew everything about them. You knew who they were dating. You knew what kids they. I mean, everything about them was part of their whole image.
Exactly.
That we got to start building back on again. If the NBA wants to maintain this, I mean, the NBA now is locked in at number 2. I mean, it's the NFL, the NBA, and then baseball as far as American sports go. But they better get on the ball with it, because the baseball may catch up to them if they keep slipping.
Blood Whistle Sports. Who's calling?
It's Latham. What's going on, y'all?
All right. How you doing? Good to hear from you.
Is this Mr. Eagle in the house?
Fly, Eagle, fly.
Yes, in the flesh.
All right.
Well, we're going to get to the NFL soon, but what about the question that we're asking about the NBA right now? What do you think about the players and why they don't have that it about them like the old players used to?
I don't know, man. It could be maybe they don't have as much drive as the school players used to have. Maybe it's the money. I mean, I know the other older players, they make money too, but I don't think they just don't have that same type of fire and desire. I don't think, man, that dedication to the game, like Kobe had. Kobe. Nobody had. I mean, players you're gonna find that had drive like Kobe, man. I mean, he was the type of dude. You know, he showed the gym at like 4 o'clock in the morning, ready to practice and get shots up.
And you see how he knows about that? Yeah. These other players, we don't know what they are in the gym. We don't know what they're doing in the gym. We just know that they were presented to us as a superstar, but they don't have that superstar-esque about them. Right. They get all the magazine covers and things like that, but what is missing from the NBA now from what used to be in the NBA in yesteryears?
Great question. I don't know. I'm kind of tongue tied as far as what is the NBA, and where are they going to be able to get it? Who's going to team in?
I believe he kind of said it. Do you know how much money Victor came into the league with?
Good question.
Because with these TV endorsements and these shoe endorsements and these food endorsements, besides the NBA, a player is handed a super bag when he comes in.
Right.
What is there for him to play for?
Yeah.
If you don't have the fire for the game like the old players used to, because they knew if they showed out and did their thing, they were going to get a bag to take care of their family. It's different now. You get the bag first, and then you're expected to play once you're already comfortable.
The drive is not. A lot of players, the drive is not really. It's not really there. They're more as like a They love they play basketball, but it's more like a job to them. It's just like a normal everyday job that you go to every day. They kind of get it like that. They really don't have that like that real love. Some guys do, but then some guys don't. It's just like a regular job to them. That's where I think they look at it.
Wow,
interesting. Yeah,
you got NFL players like that too. You got some players that came up playing football, and they're just super athletic and they don't really love the football, the game. They were just born with athletic ability, and they just played because it was like somebody all the talent was like, hey, you need to play football. And they put him on the field, and he was able to excel at it. He loved it. He was able to excel at it.
Okay. I can't argue that point there. No argument there. But we were talking about ratings and NBA, you know, who owned Christmas Day for years and years and years. The NFL came in this year and said, we're going to take over your Christmas Day. And they sure did, because their football games are getting 27 million viewers, whereas the NBA was getting lucky to get 5 to 7.
And did you notice? Did you see? If you notice, did you watch the Laker game? And at the end, did you hear what LeBron said?
Yeah,
he said, "I love the NBA." He said, "I love the NFL, but the NBA Christmas Day our day."
It's our day, and he had to eat crow on that because the ratings said differently. The ratings said any day the NFL puts a game on is their day. So, and speaking of that, but this weekend they had the Commanders weekend. The game I had almost 30 million people watch. It was like an all-time in NBC. It was their highest rating for.
I knew you couldn't wait to get that statistic.
I just had to get that in, because
I see the W on your hat.
Well, because the Commanders are back. It's good for the Eagles to have a Commanders back.
Football is king, man.
Football is king, and so we got to have rivalries. You know, the Eagles have been beating up on us for years and years and years. Now we got somebody to believe in. Man, that Commanders Eagle game next year in Philadelphia is going to be nothing nice.
So I like that though, and I've said it on a few Eagle chats, man. I say, look, man, Jaden Daniels, man, that's somebody that Jalen Hurts will have to deal with for some years. Young, it's going to be a good competitive rivalry. I like it.
Yeah,
I like to see them good teams compete. So
and that's it. I'm all fan for it too. I'm looking forward to it as well. Hey, if things work out the right way, we might have a Commanders Eagles NFC Championship game.
Charles Tongue said the NBA needs more European players to spark a new rage.
Yeah, but see, the problem, Charles, is that every European player that's come over here, they play well, but none of them have been able to have that star factor. Think about it. Going all the way back to what was his name for the Dallas Mavericks?
Nowinski.
As great as Nowinski was,
why I call him Mikovic?
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I just remember.
Yeah, I was like, what? I'm not sure where that came from, but yeah, Nowinski. As great a Harvard career as he had, he never was able to make that superstar level that like I said, the Kobe and the LeBron. He just, I don't know. There's just something about the European players. They don't have that charisma, that personality that you need to have to make that superstar level.
But he was dominant.
I mean, he was dominant. I mean,
very dominant.
I mean, he was an amazingly great player, but there's just something about him. He didn't speak well when on the interview. They just, I get because of the German accent.
So you call him showmanship.
Yeah, the showmanship. I mean, that's what you got to have. Magic Johnson is the great example of that. When the second Magic Johnson stepped in the NBA, it was his world and everybody else was just playing in it. He had that smile, he had that charisma, you could sell commercials, he could sell him in whatever you wanted to put him in.
Showtime.
And the NBA benefited from that.
Yeah,
know,
but you know what? I think they need to probably do something with the season, man. Because people, I don't think they really. A lot of people don't care about the regular season. I think they need to do something, shorten it or do something.
They tried.
maybe
They put a tournament
I know they put a
in.
tournament in. They've I don't know what else they can
They
do.
they did. You want to set some firecrackers off? Have a 4th of July
I don't know,
jam?
Yeah,
man. I don't know what they can do, man. They do something, man.
yeah. I mean, it's just they got to play games, and the games don't seem to have. I mean, number one thing they got to do is they got to force players to play. All this, the rusting and guys that taking time off and stuff, that's killing the league. If you can't guarantee that if I buy a ticket to go watch, let's just say two teams,
Steph Curry
Steph
play.
Curry, yeah, and then you buy your ticket and then
He's on the pupil free day.
he's on a people free day. I just spend my hard earned money to take my child to go see Steph Curry play, and he's not playing tonight because coach's decision.
These
That's
tickets are not cheap.
not cheap.
And when we pay to go see some players play. If he's not hurt, we want to see him on the floor.
Exactly.
We want to stand up and turn around and take a picture where he's in the background. That's what we want.
Exactly. And the idea of a guy playing 75 to 82 games is gone now. You're lucky you're the guy who plays 70 games. I mean, it's just
man. Those guys, man, they don't really start getting into the NBA until after the football season is over.
right.
So maybe they should look into just maybe starting. I know they probably don't want to give way to the NFL. Like maybe they should just maybe start after the NFL season.
It makes sense because before the NFL starts, there's a brick of time that's wasted.
Right.
Where we have only soccer. Where it will fit in perfect because soccer is the daytime and then the NBA can reign at night.
Yeah, but the only problem with that though is that the NBA wants their gate. They got to have 82 games because they got to have
they can still have the 82 games because it's like a 2 or 3 months at least a 2-month law.
Yeah, but see, your issue with that though is that guys don't want to play back-to-back games. They don't want to play 3 games in 4 nights. The NBA used to do that. And players complained about that, saying it was bad on their bodies. I mean, there's just so many factors going into this now that it's hard because the union says our guys got to have so many days off. They got to have this. They got to have that. Blah, blah, blah. There's always something in the way.
I'm guessing what I think the NBA has no reason to compete with the NFL with the time slots that we have. And when they do compete with the NFL should be winding down. And the NBA should be starting up. And then once the NBA gets juicy, the NFL is done. And then we got all NBA games to watch and really be into.
Right.
Because if that's what we have to watch, we're going to watch. But if we got to pick between the NFL and the NBA right now,
I know. I mean,
we know who's winning.
We know who's winning. But, I mean, look at it. I mean, the NBA season now goes from October all the way to June. I mean, they pretty much have a 9-month season. And that's still not.
Hey, you know what? This is something we're gonna have to revisit again.
Yeah.
Hey, if anybody out there, drop them in the comments. We'll hit you. We'll hit it on social media and give our thoughts out on social media. Also, Charles Tun said the NFL is king.
All right.
Oh, where are we going now?
Let's go straight to the NFL. We're gonna save college football for last this time. We always do NFL last. Let's do.
When we get to the NFL, we're gonna be stuck. College football ain't gonna take that long.
It'll take 2 seconds to college football.
Okay, but let's just run through college football because once we get on the NBA, I mean NFL, it's gonna be. It's going, man. Because I know you got some stuff to say. I can tell by the look on your face.
What
you're gonna say some way out stuff out the side of your neck.
Did the Panthers?
I'm gonna have to.
Did the Panthers play this week?
Oh, you gonna do me like that?
I'm just. You say I got something.
You heard that?
You say I got something.
Gonna do me?
You say I got something to say. The Panthers didn't play, so I can't criticize them. What's that? I can't criticize the Panthers because they didn't play.
Okay.
I'm just okay.
All right, I'll take that. I'll take that.
All right, so since you want to get college football in, I'm just keeping it real.
Hey man, throw your rocks. And your boy did his thing, so you got a reason to throw your rocks. You got a reason to throw your rocks.
You mean all amazing? We're taking away the half man. We can't call him half man no more. He's all amazing. Well, we're gonna get to him in a few minutes. But since you want to get to college football, real quick, here's all college football is. We had 2 games: Notre Dame, Penn State, Ohio State, Texas. The better game was Notre Dame Penn State. Notre Dame won in a squeaker, 27-24. It was some view upset. Ohio State had a little more control over Texas. They won 28-14. So we're gonna have a Notre Dame Ohio State national championship game on Monday.
Let's get it.
So, who are you taking? Notre Dame, Ohio State.
Notre Dame.
If you take Notre Dame, I'll take Ohio State.
Are you just taking Ohio
I'm just
State
taking Ohio
just
State
because
just
I took Notre Dame?
Yeah. If you would take Ohio State, I would take Notre Dame.
I watched all the teams play, man. I like Ohio State.
Yeah, I like Ohio State. But honestly, I'd be happy if either team wins. I like Notre Dame's coach, so I'm kind of rooting for him in that regards. But I think Ohio State got the more talent. I think they have the better team. So I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm just hoping for a good game. We've been struggling with this college football playoffs so this year. The games have not been what we thought they would be.
Lackluster.
And so so we just want to have a strong college football game to watch on Monday. So you got Ohio State too, Lathan?
Yeah, I got Ohio State.
All right, so I got Ohio State too. So that's it for college football. I mean, the only thing we, I mean,
moving right along.
Moving right along. Like I said, I was going to say it for the last 2 minutes of the show, but we got it in.
Now we're moving to the NFL divisional playoff round.
And since we got you on the phone, let's start with your team. Let's start with the Eagles. What was your opinion of the game? Let me ask you, what was your opinion of the game?
Yes, please.
Before we give me yours.
What the Packers and the Eagles?
Yeah.
I think I mean, we did what we had to do.
Yeah.
Only thing, I think Jalen was a little rusty. You know,
a little rusty.
Like he was a lot rusty.
Okay. I was gonna say.
But you know what? A lot of people are talking about Jalen Hurts, his play. I don't think everything is on him. I think a lot of the play calling from Kellen Moore is a little suspect. So I watch a lot of the All 22. Cause see, what I like to do, I like to go watch other people's videos that watch the All 22 in the slow mo,
right? And
they watch the plays from the quarterback's point of view. And I'm looking at some of these plays. I'm like, they're blitzing. Why is the offensive coordinator calling these long these routes that take a long time to develop? So and he's really got nowhere to throw the ball.
Bingo.
He's slowing down. I'm like, what is going on? That's on the coaches. They put them in a bad position to win.
Well, let me ask you your opinion on this thing, because this was turned to be a big story out of this game. A.J. Brown was on the sidelines during the game.
You about to talk about the book, Steve?
Of course you got to talk about the book, because let's be honest about it. That was not an accident. That was done to express a point.
Look, man,
he made a point.
Having the book on the sideline the whole year, and it just so happened that the cameras happened to catch him.
No. He did that. No, but it was that Nate Lathan. Don't be that naive to sit there and say that man was sitting there doing that, just having to be caught.
He's not naive. He's protecting his team.
He made a point that book had significant meaning to it, because it was a self-help book that goes to athletes who are struggling in their situations. He knew what he was doing. That was a cry for help. He was saying, I want out of Philly.
No.
That was no. Are you that naive?
Hey, and that's let you and Lathan get it in. I'm waiting for my turn.
Look, man,
he wants out.
Signed a big contract, man. I don't think he went out of Philly.
What's that? You both are that naive that you'll sit here and say in a playoff game, your number one wide receiver is sitting there reading that self-help book on the sidelines during the game, and that's not done as being told of, I'm not happy here. I'm not having to work on meditation for myself because I'm struggling because I'm not getting the ball. Get me out of this place.
Mm.
We already know what happened early in the season with the issues the two had with each other. Come on.
I don't know, man. Until he publicly comes out and say that.
What else did he have to say? That was a clear. He sat there with a book like this that was clear to the day. He knows cameras are everywhere watching everything they do, and made it a point to show what he was trying to do. he can't read the book after the game.
I don't. Hey man,
He has some free time. I mean, he
all I
couldn't.
gotta say is be careful what you wish for.
I'm just saying
Grass is always green on the other side.
that was a cry. That was a get me out of here. I need out. I want to go someplace where they're gonna get me the ball. That's the modern day version of what you guys say for Miami Dolphins. I'm
It
done.
depends on the player. It depends on the player. If he already has the bag, does he want to just be on a team where he catch 100-something balls
Yeah,
and he never goes to the playoffs,
yeah.
or does he want to have a chance to win Lombardi trophies every year? Which one do you want?
I mean,
Because maybe some players are happy with just catching all their balls, on getting all their stats and never sniffing the playoffs. I think most players play the game to get that trophy at the end. So I don't know.
Okay.
I think he's jealous of Saquon. He's looking at what Saquon's doing, and he's like, "Well, what is it? Saquon's getting all the love and the adulation. Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares about what I'm trying to do."
Now, I've listened to both of you guys' opinion. Now, this is my opinion. My opinion
All
is
right.
the Eagles better get that rust off of Jalen, because going to their play the Rams, not just going to their play any Rams, an inspired Rams. With the Los Angeles Fire Department shirts on, playing for a city.
Bro, did you watch that game in LA? Because I did. I didn't. I should have went to the game, but
You should
I
have.
sat there, watched that game in November. Did you see what my team did to the Rams in their house?
Okay.
Did you see what Saquon Barkley did? He ran for almost. I think he ran for almost 300-something yards.
I am not taking anything away, because the reason you won this game because you have that Avenger on your team. That man is an Avenger. I call him Agent Green, and that's Saquon Barkley. He got an actual Marvel character that plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's in that backfield. And as for the wide receiver on the sidelines with a book, I believe that he was showing other prima donnas from other teams that this is how you keep your mouth shut and you support your team, let them do what they do, and win the game. And when my number's called on, I'm going to go into action. But let us roll in. Let us roll into this Super Bowl ring if we're gonna roll into the Super Bowl ring. But to speak again on what you said about the Rams, hey, that's good what you guys did to them early in the season. This is a different Rams. If they come in playing inspired ball, getting through your line, and your coach is still. This is what I saw. Minnesota Vikings, and I know Steve is going to get on this.
Woo, man, I'm going to be honest. All right.
I don't blame Darnold, Lathan. Darnold coach did the same thing that the Philadelphia coach did, which he was calling plays that had to develop. He acted like he couldn't see what was on the field. The Rams players was getting through there and destroying. This man was getting body slammed like it was the WWE, and the coach still didn't figure out to give this man a let out player. Darnold is not a running quarterback. This man had to run out to get people open, when all the coach had to do, all of offensive coordinator had to do, was call the running back in the backfield to give him extra protection, chip a player, and if the play didn't develop, he could dump the ball off to the running back. They did not do it the whole game. And this, going back to the Philadelphia Rams game that's about to happen, if your coach is calling those same plays that have to develop, and you have to put your Marvel character in there, he's gonna have to have all his Marvel ability ready to go, and be doing a lot of jumping backwards over people and backflipping, because it's gonna be a long game. Because the Rams players that's playing for Los Angeles, California, that I saw play against the Minnesota Vikings, and the Minnesota Vikings are not a pushover team when it comes to that front line. Hey, y'all gonna have a long game, Lathan. A long game.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. The only difference is going to be the big difference is the Eagles' O line is not Minnesota's O line. We have the best O line in football. We maul people Come on, no, it's not going to happen, man.
We'll have to
The
see.
way they were, I watched that game. The way they were getting in on Sam Darnold, they're not going to do that with Jalen.
I gotta see.
I just been listening. Like I said, I'm not all in on the Rams like Packett is. I think if the game was in LA, I might feel a little more towards the Rams, but the game being outside in Philadelphia in the elements, I'm expecting the Eagles to find a way to pull it out. I do think the Rams are going to play better than they played that first game, but I think the Eagles will find a way. That's my prediction.
They're going to have to bring a real good lunch, man, and bring their lunch pails, man.
Yeah.
Because did you see what we were doing the Packers last week? Dude, they were carting them off, man.
I know.
There was out there hitting.
Y'all should have blew the Packers out later.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
y'all had 3 interceptions on Jordan Love.
Right. Well,
that game should have looked way different.
We acknowledge that Jalen Hurts has to play better. I mean, Jalen Hurts can't have a game like he had against the Packers and expect to win. I expect him to have a better game. I mean, he'll make adjustments. I think, like I said, I expect him to play better. But physically, the Eagles dominated the Packers as far as on the front line,
as they were supposed to.
As they were supposed to do, yes. So I'm expecting the same against the Rams. I expect them to.
They're going to go in there, and the Rams is coming down there, and I said if the Rams is still on inspired football, because that was inspired football. If Saquon, your Marvel or Agent Green, isn't able to do his normal activities and abilities, like the 25 carries that he had and over 100 yards playing against the Green Bay Packers, it's going to be a long game. If they standing Agent Green up in the backfield like they were doing Aaron Jones, I got to see. I just got to see because the Jets, not the Jets, the green team, the Eagles and Minnesota, they kind of mirror each other. Now you totally had a better running back, but they kind of mirror each other in plays called and how the plays are being ran. And it just I just saw it. They mirror each other. And you said from your own mouth, your coach was calling plays that had to develop. The Rams is not going for it. You better get 1, 2, 3. The ball better be gone. The Rams is not going for it.
Ultimately, what is going to come? All right, go ahead.
But I think even though Jalen Hurts had a bad, he still threw 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
he still made crucial plays. He checked down on one play when the Packers were getting ready to blitz. He saw the blitz coming. He checked the Dallas Goedert, and Goedert just punked homeboy and just went into the end zone. I mean, he did make some plays.
That stiff arm was amazing.
Yeah.
He adjusts to the game. When people were saying, you remember the game when everybody was saying, "Oh no, against Pittsburgh," and the week before they was saying, "Oh no, he's not passing the ball." What did Jalen Hurts do that game? And at the press conference, everybody was like, "Is that what y'all want to see?"
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Wow, he had everybody on hush mode."
Right.
I think AJ had over 100 yards. Devontae Smith had over 100 yards against Pittsburgh and shut them down.
We're definitely going to see.
We're going to see it. And ultimately, what Packett has not mentioned yet, but because I'm the one who has to bring all the true information onto the show. Matthew Stafford, who's the guy he loves so much, has played his whole career in dome stadiums, Detroit, LA. Matthew Stafford, whenever he had to play outside in the elements throughout his career, and we're talking about Green Bay, we're talking about Chicago, all those years, he has a below 500 record outside in the elements. And that's the fact that you're not bringing up. He's a different quarterback when he's playing in a dome, but when he's playing outside, there's wind, there's conditions, it's cold, he's not the same guy. And that's the fact that I think is going to end up losing the game for the Rams.
Could be.
You heard it here. So when you guys watch the game, see how Stafford plays.
38-17.
Okay, I can live with that. But I'd be remiss, since we already talked about the Eagles, let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings, because I'm not going to let you sit up here and get these Sam Darnold things in without telling the truth about what really happened in that game.
Kick it off.
Okay.
Kick it off.
Let me ask you a question. Let me start. What year is this?
2025.
Okay. This is not 1975.
Okay.
You can't just sit out there go in the back and sit back there for 6-7 seconds. You know how you watch those old NFL films and you see them plays where the quarterback rolls back and they're back there for like a 5, 6, 7 seconds, and the wide receiver is running 70, 80 yards down the field and he just airs it out. You remember Fran Tarkenton and Steve Barkowski and those guys, and just it was Dan Fouts. It was just beautiful football. It's just Eric Coryell. You can't do that in today's NFL.
True.
Man, you gotta have a hell of an O line, man.
Yeah,
That,
if you're a quarterback, you got 1, 2, 3, ball out. That's it.
True.
Anything else other than that, you asking for trouble, because these defensive linemen are so fast nowadays. They'll be on you in a second. Sam Darnold was back there thinking he was in 1975. He's back there. I'm sitting there watching the game like, what are you doing?
And I will give that to Steve.
And he did it over and over again.
The thing about it is, Sam Darnold got sacked 9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
And it should have been more.
And what happened was, what Sam should have did was make that offensive coordinator look stupid. Don't take the sack. That was his mistake, was taking that sack, because he should have thrown the ball in the direction of a wide receiver out of bounds. So when you look at the play, they can be like, what are they calling? Where can he throw to? That's what he should have done. But I said nine sacks. But out of the 9, 5 sacks were total bull rushes, where as soon as he got the ball in his hands, they were in his face. 4 times he made a mistake. Those 4 times he should have threw it out to put it on the offensive coordinator about calling a bad play. The other 5 times, it was nothing he could do. The Rams players looked like they knew the number of the snap, and they were in his face.
Let's call the stats, guys. 25 out of 40, 245 yards with those 9 sacks. He only had 4 rushes for 19 yards. What he needed to do was, those 4 rushes should have been about 9 rushes. Don't sit up back there and let yourself get sacked. Get out there and make something happen. At least get the ball up to the line of scrimmage. At least avoid those long, because 2nd and 12 sounds a lot better than 2nd and 21. And that's what was killing the Vikings that whole game,
I agree with you 1,000%. But also, if I'm an offensive coordinator and the coach, I know that I have Sam Darnold at the helm, and I know Sam Darnold is not a runner. So therefore, I'm going to call plays that I'm not going to put myself in that position for Sam Darnold to have to run. These Rams are bull rushing. Give this man 2 outlets, 2 check downs. So therefore, if they're in his face, he already knows this guy's to the left, this guy's to the right, and he throws to the way the coverage is not, and gets the ball out of there. They did not do that. I am not putting it all on Sam Darnold.
Look,
I don't. That's on the coordinator. You gotta have those high routes.
Okay, I can live with that.
Got to.
I don't hate Sam Darnold. I actually like Sam Darnold. I want the guy to do well. Somebody told me,
I don't know. He has a look in his eyes like when you talk about Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers.
I was going to bring this up. Somebody told me, is Sam Darnold like Kirk Cousins? And I'm gonna sit here and say, I'm gonna give Sam Darnold the benefit of the doubt. He's only 26, 27 years old. He's only 5, 6 seasons in the league. Kirk Cousins has been sticking it up for 13 years. I got 13 years of papers on him. So I'm going to give Sam Darnold the chance. You guys remember John Elway, for much of his career, was the guy who couldn't get the big game. Couldn't get the big game. And then they got Shanahan. The last 2 years of his season, he wins the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden that whole narrative changed. So I'm going to give Sam Darnold the benefit of the doubt. He's still young enough that he still can figure things out. He got a ways to go, but I think he can do better.
If you're just now tuning in to Blow the Whistle Sports, we're on the phone with Lathan Mahalia, calling in from Los Angeles, California, and we're talking about the games that just passed. And it was a crazy weekend. I got 98% of my games right.
Well, on one of mine, I did, but it was the one that I picked the teams I didn't want to win. But
I guess the last question I want to ask you: should Sam Darnold get another chance in Minnesota, or should they move on? I'm going to ask Lathan first. What do you think, Lathan?
I think he should get another chance, but they've invested a lot of money in McCarthy. So, he's a first round pick. So, and the way Sam Darnold performed, I think they may just let him test the market. I think.
Well, I
I
think
think
they
he
have no
cost himself.
choice. I think he's
I
a
think
free
he
agent.
cost himself a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
He cost with those two games.
Yeah.
They're gonna be looking at Detroit and in the playoff game. He cost himself a lot of money, man.
Oh yeah, big time, big time. Yeah, he's a free agent, so I think they have no choice but to let him test the waters. I think they only signed him to a 1-year deal.
But the question to you: do you think they should re-sign him?
No, I mean they're gonna let him test the waters. I mean, I think it's gonna be a question of does he want to go back to Minnesota? He might find a better situation elsewhere.
Whatever situation, Sam, please look for an offensive line because, like I told somebody, because I thought Minnesota was going to win. That when you put your hands on Sam Darnold and throw him to the ground the second time, he's not the same guy in the head when it comes to passing anymore. When Sam Darnold has a clean pocket, passes the ball, gets the ball out, you get the swag, you get the QB that we always thought he could be as being that number one draft pick that got drafted by the Jets. But once he gets sacked twice, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think Sam is kind of part of the type of quarterback he is. He's kind of a part of a dying breed, man. I mean, nowadays, man, going forward, man, most of these quarterbacks going forward, man, they gotta be able to move. Even the white guys, they gotta be able to move in the pocket, man. They gotta be able to move them feet and scramble just a little bit, man. You gotta be able to do something on the ground, man.
Absolutely.
Just a little bit.
I'm glad you just said that because it's going to be a great segue to the game that frustrated me the most last week.
Let's go.
Talking about a quarterback who struggles with moving the pocket, the Los Angeles Chargers, and this is to our Catzilla, Mr. Charles.
He's another.
Oh my goodness!
Guy. He kind of reminds me of. I'm telling you, man, the days of those Tom Brady type quarterbacks. The Golden Boys sitting in the pocket, man. Them days is over, man.
They're over. This like I said, this is not 1975. It's 2025. You got to move.
Guys are too fast, man. They too athletic. They gotta be able to move a little bit. And if you can't move, you better be a fast thrower of the ball, like old boy for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow. Joe
Burrow.
Cool.
It gotta be like Joe Burrow. He gets that ball, boom, it's 3 steps out.
That's what I said. 1, 2, 3 out. Ball got to go.
But he has an excellent offensive coordinator, and he knows the skill set. But we know Joe can move a little bit. But why do you have to put your quarterback under duress when you're playing a team that is rushing a certain way? You have outlets for him, so you don't have to worry about that. Because if they bull rush and they're rushing 5 people, and you keep throwing the ball to your outlet, they gotta stop. They gotta stop. An offensive coordinator and the coach is supposed to know the strengths of whatever QB he has in the pocket.
But I get where you're getting to a point, but we got to, instead of just attacking the offensive coordinator, because let's be honest, they won 14 games this year. So that same offensive coordinator managed to find 14 games. You got to put some on Sam Darnold because the same plays they were running the last 2 games, they were running those 14 games they won. Sam Darnold just didn't step up to the ball. I mean, the bottom line is that great quarterbacks make plays when the games count the most. And we're going to get to that at the end of our segment when we get to All Amazing. Because that guy makes plays when the plays count the most. Sam Darnold right now, we can't sit there and say that about him. We saw in the Lions game and we saw last week when the game was on needed to be played, he just didn't get the job done. That's just the bottom line. It's not we can criticize the offensive coordinator all day, but I mean we don't criticize the offensive coordinator when they won those 14 games. I got an offensive coordinator I don't like in Kingsbury, but Kingsbury has helped lead the Commanders to a 12-5 record, so I can't put everything on him.
Well, offensive coordinator is the person who calls the plays.
Yes.
The only reason I put that on him in those games because those 14 games you said that they won,
right?
Sam Darnold was not getting touched in the pocket, Steve. It looked like the reason why I picked the Minnesota Vikings, that offensive line all season long has been so stout.
Okay.
This man has been he didn't change anything. when it come to holding the ball, he was holding the ball then, but they were giving him time to get that ball out.
So then,
Now moving to a playoff game where they were getting to him, where the pressure was getting to him, they did nothing different. They act like they couldn't understand what was going on. Because if I looked at those 14 games and they couldn't get to him, we got another call calling in. Brother, what's the sports? Who's calling?
Darnell.
How you doing, sir?
Oh my goodness.
Am I too late for the party?
No. You're not too late.
Never too late. You're
I
never
thought
too
I was
late.
Too late for the party. I was about to hang out like, oh
What's that?
man, I missed out again.
Daniel, please help us because once again, Pat gets confused. You know how Pat gets confused sometimes.
Confused?
Oh yeah.
I'm just calling it like I saw it.
We talking about the Minnesota Vikings,
and I have no skin in the game. I'm not a Minnesota Viking fan.
And somehow he's trying to justify Sam Darnold's performance by blaming the offensive coordinator. I mean, I don't know what game we watched.
All right, D. All I said was Sam Darnold has won 14 games this season.
Yes.
And we're not going to spend too much more time on it because they lost. It's time to move to another team. But I want your opinion. The 14 games Sam Darnold play, the Minnesota Viking line looks stout. Nobody could get to Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was able to stand in that pocket and dish it out. When he got to a playoff game against the Rams were in the backfield 90% of the time during the game, and the coach kept calling plays like he could still stand back there and figure it out. If a blind man can see, and you know, Steve likes to throw me under the bus, but a blind man can see that if you have 4 wideouts going out and the play has to develop, how can a play develop if the line, if the defensive line is in the backfield already and you have a quarterback that is not a running quarterback? Thank you, D.
Right.
Explain that to me.
Okay, please help us.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. You might not like what I'm gonna say.
Oh, go ahead, spit it.
Well, I blame the coordinator as well, but Sam Darnold does have a habit of having amnesia.
Yeah.
In some of the games,
right?
And he does mess up, and he does choke under pressure.
He chokes.
He looked good for a while, but it gets to that point where he chokes.
Yeah, I mean that's just what it comes down to. Literally, I don't hate Sam Darnold, but the bottom line until he proves otherwise.
I respect everybody's opinion, but to me, it's not a choke if you have nobody to throw the ball to. Now, I gave.
I did see that one play. He was open and
he missed him.
He didn't throw it. He had time.
Yeah,
and he didn't throw it.
And so one play he threw the ball behind him,
and he got sacked.
Right, the guy was cutting right across the middle, and he threw the ball behind him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 25 for 40 for 245 and sacked 9 times. So that's 49 plays in which there were pass plays.
Exactly.
He had plenty of chances. It wasn't like a case of he didn't have chances. The bottom line was that when plays need to be made, he was not making them.
He did not make the play,
and that's the difference between winning and losing. I mean, I can't blame the offensive coordinator for that.
That's why I say I can't blame one without blaming the other.
Right.
This is true. This is true.
But the bottom line is when all is said and done.
So I'm going to have to agree with both of y'all.
Yeah. I mean, bottom line is that Sam Darnold has to show that he can get the job done when there's pressure on him. Right now, he's never shown that. There's no game we can sit there and say of meaning that Sam Darnold has won. It hasn't happened in his whole career.
And I'm Derek just tuned in to us on YouTube. He says he's holding the ball. He was holding the ball
way too long.
Way too long. Verbatim, that's exactly what he said. He said Sam Darnold that we let go from the Panthers. He was climbing the pocket and not running when he had the daylight.
Yeah,
it was throwing in a bunch of bad throws. And Lathan said he got to run. Enjoy the games this weekend. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we already got the Eagles win over the Packers, even though you
no. You got the Eagles win.
You taking the Packers?
No. It's not the Packers. It's the Rams.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry, Rams. I'm sorry.
And I'm going with the inspired Rams.
All right.
Even though we're asking who gonna win this week.
But I'm just saying, if I had to choose and I was on drugs, I would say the Eagles.
There you go. That's all we need. We just need the honest fact.
Look, that's a
all we
that's a
need.
49er fan for real. He said if he was on drugs, he would take the Eagles.
So since we haven't really talked about the Texans, I just want to talk about how Herbert just looked horrible in this game. I don't want to even get it. He had the one pass to McConkey. McConkey had a huge game.
Mhm.
Nobody else for the Chargers showed up as far as the wide receivers go. Texans, the defense looked really sharp. Can they do anything against the Chiefs? Does anybody have any way you think the Texans can upset the Chiefs?
Chiefs. That's what I'm taking.
Yeah.
Who you taking?
I know the Chiefs is gonna win, but I just have to go for the underdog. I have to go for the.
He said he know the Chiefs is gonna win, but he's going for the underdog. Who you taking, Steve?
I got the Chiefs all the way. I mean, I don't think this. I think this might be the one game. It could be 25 point win. I think it's gonna be that significant.
Blowout.
Yeah. They've had They've had 3 weeks of rest because they rested the last week of the season.
Andy Reid.
Wait. Where are they playing? Are they playing
in Kansas City?
They're the number one seed. What you think they playing?
Yeah,
this Chiefs.
No. You stay with your pick. You stay.
Yeah.
No, I got to write the change.
Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna say it like this. Patrick Mahomes.
But I still want the other team to win, but I know, like I said, I still know the Chiefs gonna win. They cheat, especially at home.
Patrick Mahomes. It's gonna look like they're cheating because Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, both number one wide receivers in their later years. Not much of a later years. They still got the hands-on receivers. Not to mention the fastest wide receiver in the NFL, Xavier Worthy, that we haven't seen much out of, but I believe he's going to be the X factor in this game. And Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, I mean it's just too many weapons.
And I didn't say Travis Kelce yet.
I know.
Oh,
I mean, too many weapons.
3P KC.
Yeah.
Bar no injury. Because injuries change things.
Well, I mean, the Texans are out there top 2 wide receivers. I mean, but 2 of the 3. Collins is still there, but they don't have Stephon Diggs, nor do they have Tank Dell. So I mean, they got Collins and then backups.
Man, the Texans did a dang good job, and I'm not counting them out this game as was showing up because with that running game, if they come in there, they do have an offense. They do have a decent offense. If they come in there and they do like Pittsburgh did with the trick plays, post a punt, and then they get over a couple times, they could make something happen.
Nah,
but I'm still going with KC all the way.
Like I said, I think it was more the Chargers' bad play than the Texans' great play won that game. I mean, I hate when teams change up in the playoffs. You've been a running team all year. You get to the playoffs, and all of a sudden you're going to run the ball only 13 times and then get the ball to Herbert 30 times to pass it. Makes no sense. But let's talk about what should be the best matchup of the week. It's going to be the Ravens and the Bills.
Woo! That's going to be a hot one.
Well, before we get into who should win that game, the big question that's been floating around this week is, should the Steelers and Coach Tomlin, has Tomlin run his course in Pittsburgh? I mean, we know he's had 18 straight winning seasons. We know that. We know he has a Super Bowl. But it just seems like the last 5 times they've been winning out in the playoffs. I don't think it's, like I said, I don't know if it's so much an issue with Tomlin himself.
Here we go.
But I think it's just the issue of, does he need a new change of scenery? Does the Steelers need a new change? What do you guys think?
Steelers need a new change.
Yeah, I love Tomlin, but I think for both, I think they need to. I think it'd be Tomlin's best interest to move on, and I think it's the Steelers' best interest because I'm serious though. They've been a problem of mediocrity. They're good every year. They're good, but they're not great. But for being good, they can't get that elite player that's going to make them great. So that's an issue.
There's a factor in there. Pittsburgh Steelers had a great wide receiver that they had to drop, And speaking of, is the rumor right? The Texans pick up Deontay Johnson off waivers?
No,
Did you hear that?
The Ravens did. The Ravens picked up Deontay
Ooh.
Johnson.
The
But-
Ravens had Deontay Johnson. They dropped him.
And they picked him up again.
They picked him up again.
But
okay.
But he can't play this week. They can only, if he made the Super
wow.
Bowl, he could play. It was too late for him to be able to play for this week. So they picked him up in case of something happens and Super Bowl comes and somebody got hurt. So he's just more of just an insurance policy. So yeah,
bad insurance policy. But with that being said, you guys go ahead and over there in Pittsburgh and get rid of Mike Tomlin. First of all, the last 3 seasons, y'all should have never, ever, ever with any of those teams made the playoffs in the first place.
Yeah, but that's
this man plays chess, not checkers, and he single-handedly put the plays together, put the players in the right position. A coach that would have saw, like I was talking about with the Sam Darnold thing, and changed it. He's not going to let a player make him look bad. But what happens? Go ahead and let him go. Any team be happy to pick up Tomlin.
But that's what I'm saying.
But do they need to know what they need to do is get talent.
But
See, the problem is their mediocrity kills them when it comes to getting talent. Because now when they go to the draft board, where are they picking that?
That's what I'm saying. Every year, because they are good but not great, they can't get the talent in the draft that's going to be able to put them over the top. So the question is going to be, if they stay with Tomlin again next year, it's going to be much the same. They're going to be about 11-5, 10-6. They're going to make the playoffs, and then they're going to lose in the first round again. I mean, how long can you keep doing that to a point of enough's enough? We got to do something different.
I think Mike Tomlin should go to the 49ers, and then the 49ers will have a real coach.
Oh no!
And then with the with the talent the 49ers have, that's Super Bowl all day long.
No, the best situation for Tomlin would be, there's several out there. He could go to Chicago with the Bears, have a team that already has ready-made talent but needs discipline. He'd whip that team into shape.
That sounds good, because then he has the wide receivers.
He already got the wide receivers.
He has everything.
Young
he
quarterback.
needs.
He just needs to give them discipline and give them a fight.
That
would be a perfect move for him to, and in a division that they can go from last to be a second place team quick.
That's crazy.
So that's the team I look for him to go to. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just think if he stays in Pittsburgh, I don't see anything on Pittsburgh that's going to make me think they're going to be any better than they were this year.
The same.
It'll be the same.
Same old. They came up by being able to get Russell Wilson and the other quarterback,
right?
But it's still mediocre. Because you got that, then had to get rid of the wide receiver. So now you're only dealing with Pickens, and Pickens out there getting picked on.
Right, exactly. And so I mean, yeah. So that's my big question of the week. Like I said, I think they need to move on, but I think the Steelers are very stubborn. They've only had 3 coaches in their last 80 years, and so it'd be hard for them to let him go. But it might be in his best interest. But who we got for Ravens Bills? Who we think we got? Who we looking at? Because we could talk about the Bills Broncos was not much of a game. I mean, the Broncos. I think Nick's was solid, but I mean, he's a rookie. He showed being a rookie.
Hey, we knew the Bills were going to do what they did.
Yeah, the Bills did what they did. So I'm not going to get into too much hype on that.
I'm going to say this with a little bit of context. The context I'm going to give you is Baltimore Ravens is the best team in the playoffs by far. That team, if played right, if Henry gets the ball 25, 30 times, Lamar Jackson stays in the pocket and dishes it out to his wide receivers and then gashes them with the quarterback run across the 50, nobody can beat Baltimore. But what seems to happen every year, and I know I sound like a broken record, Lamar is going to get the ball and he's going to try to be the whole team, which is going to cost them the game. His ribs is already hurt from them being up by 2 touchdowns, and they still let him play. And I'm going with Buffalo because I haven't seen anything different out of the Ravens to show me that Lamar is going to trust his team and give the rock to Henry back there and let him do his thing?
I'm gonna go with the Ravens on this one.
Okay.
I just like everything you said is the reason why I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Okay.
I think he's gonna hold off for one more week. He's gonna wait to the Chiefs game. That's the game where he's gonna play hero ball. I think this game, because it's gonna be in Buffalo, it's gonna be cold, the conditions, blah blah blah. I think they're gonna be able to keep Henry the ball 25 times, and they're gonna find a way to win this game.
That's the hope.
That's the hope. The one thing they know about the fact they got to keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands because of his ability to run. So I think they're going to do a smart game plan and let Henry dominate the ball. So I'm taking the Ravens in this game. I'm waiting for them to lose against the Chiefs in the final, in the championship game.
Okay.
All right.
And
What do you got?
D? Who you picking?
I got Ravens.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
So we
all
got
right.
2 Ravens, 1 Bills.
Oh, we have a Pittsburgh fan that was in the chat. LaShawn Davis. She says, just let work out some kinks in the offseason. Leave Pittsburgh alone. I think Brown host needs to the Brown host needs to shut his mouth.
The problem, LaShawn, knows that they've been working out kinks ever since Ben Roethlisberger has been gone.
Ooh,
It's been the same argument with the Steelers every year that they for years and years they held on to Ben first of all too long, and that was the issue. Was let's give him one more chance. Let's give him one more chance. Give him one more chance. Then he was gone. Then they drafted Trubisky. Remember, was it Trubisky first? No, Trubisky came over
Pickett.
from Pickett didn't come. Pickett came after Trubisky. Remember, Trubisky came first
Okay.
to Pittsburgh. He didn't work out. Then they drafted Pickett. Pickett didn't work out. Now they decided to go with this 2-headed monster of Justin and Russell,
And they don't use it.
and they don't use it right. And so, where do we go now from here? Is it going to? I mean, if Pittsburgh fans are fine with being 11-5, 10-6 every year and losing the first round, then don't fix it. I mean, leave it as it is.
She gave us her pick. She said she's going with this week Houston,
Okay,
Philly, Detroit. She's going with me with Buffalo.
okay. You got Houston, Philly, Detroit, Buffalo. Okay, I like 3 of the 4.
All right. And let's move on to
the game we got to really talk about. Half man, half amazing.
yes, sir. That's Jaden Daniels. Hey, this guy been here before. This guy, I don't care what you say, he ain't no rookie.
Yeah.
This guy done been here before. And as cool as he is in the pocket, he figures it out. He doesn't play like a rookie. He doesn't look like a rookie. And what he has going for him is they don't have video on him. They only have stuff for this season. So you can go with the tendencies that you've seen already, and all Jaden has to do is something different, which is amazing. Half man, half amazing. We named him here on Blow the Whistle Sports. And anything can happen with this team because he's a rookie. We don't even know what he's thinking. We don't know what he's doing. All we know is he's poised in the pocket. And the Detroit Lions, with that being said, they should destroy this team. Should.
Mm-hmm.
But this coach that likes to go for it on fourth and doesn't put points on the board, that will go for it on fourth and don't put points on the board, and that's always a room for a recipe for disaster with me. So anything can happen in this game. I'm gonna go. With that being said, I love Jaden Daniels as a quarterback, but I'm still going with Detroit because Detroit team is just too stout.
There was an interesting fact that came out that this year in his rookie season, he's already had 3 games where he's had no turnovers, no punts, and won the game 3 times in his rookie year. They said they had Brady, Manning, Montana, and I forget the 4th quarterback, one of all-time greats. All combined, they've only had 2 in their whole. You put all 4 of those quarterbacks combined with their long careers. He's done it 3 times in his rookie year.
Mm.
Now, there's 2 things to that. Number one is he is amazing. We know that. We know about the fact he doesn't turn the ball over. He keeps possessions open.
We have another superhero on our hands.
Yeah. But the other thing is that they have a coach that doesn't believe in punting the ball. He just goes for it on fourth down whenever he has a chance to. So both of those factors tie in. That being said, it's hard. As much as I love Jaden Daniels, as much as I want to believe in him, I just can't believe in the coach. I mean, I like Dan Quinn. I like Dan Quinn, but I think Dan Quinn is a filler until they get the coach in there who's going to be able to take him to that next level.
Wait a minute. Isn't it the same coach that lost the Super Bowl that was up by like 30 points and then lost?
Exactly. And so,
ooh,
yeah. So I think Dan Quinn has been great for what the Commanders needed to do. They needed to have somebody who's a rah guy, someone who makes the Commanders feel relevant. He's done all of that. The whole organization's turned around. The fan base has turned around. But I think this week the Lions' talent will oversee the Commanders. So as much as I love the Commanders and much as I want them to win, and I think they are going to be competitive, I think the Lions will win this game.
The Pittsburgh fan, LaShawn Davis says, watch your mouth. Watch it, Washington. You just made it to the playoffs after 75 years.
What I'm saying.
Leave us alone.
That's my whole point. Listen to me. For us to get to where we are now, reason why it's happened is because we've stunk it up for so many years. We've been able to acquire it didn't happen over. As much as I love Jane Down, it didn't happen overnight. You look at the Commanders. Look at how many first round picks we have on the Commanders that we drafted, or second round picks. It's taken years of stinking it up to get to be where the Commanders are now. The problem with Pittsburgh is that you guys don't have that because all your first round picks were like 25, 26, 27. And that goes. And so as long as you keep drafting so late in the draft, you're going to get good players, but you're not going to get championship level players. So that's my only argument. I like Mike. Listen, I like Mike Tomlin. You guys understand that. I would love Mike Tomlin. Listen, I take a trade Mike Tomlin for Dan Quinn.
We have another phone call coming in.
Let's do it.
Oh,
Brother with some sports, who's calling? D. Looks like we lost both of them.
Uh-oh. That was a twofer. We lost two. That was a twofer. But yeah. Listen, I would take a Mike Tomlin for Dan Quinn trade any day of the week. And I'd throw in a draft pick. Because I know with Mike Tomlin, he could take us to the Super Bowl. We know this.
With the talent you got now.
Yeah, with the talent he has and the discipline.
You guys will get 3 Super Bowls out of the next 4 years if y'all have Mike Tomlin.
Absolutely.
Mike Tomlin, like I said, top 5 coach, top 3 coach. He's right there next to Andy Reid.
Yeah.
And he's with a team that is superficial. It's fluff. It's not what it seems because he's that great to make that team look that good.
Right. First of all, the Commanders have defensive leaders, Bobby Wagner's, Frankie LeBeau, Chin. You give Mike Tomlin that and let him keep that team in order. Oh my goodness.
Blood with some sports, who's calling?
This is Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. Could you turn your TV down? We can hear your TV coming through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we can hear us.
We can hear us. You got to turn us down.
Okay.
Yes. What's going on? How you doing? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Torrance, California.
Hey, how you doing, Torrance?
Torrance?
I'm doing all right, thanks.
What do you have to say?
Oh, well, y'all ain't got no questions for me?
We want to hear what kind of team. Tell us who's your team, first of all.
Well, I like Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you called to tell Steve about himself, I see.
Good. I love to hear it.
No, I've been expressing enough of my views in the chat. I think
this is LaShawn Davis. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing okay.
Now, Mike Tomlin, 18 seasons, 18 years above 500. There's no question he should be a Hall of Fame coach. No question whatsoever.
He is.
He is a Hall of Fame coach. Super Bowl champion. Everything that you can speak of a coach, he's done. The question now is Where can he go from here
in Pittsburgh.
in Pittsburgh?
So there's been a lot of talk amongst my little Steelers groups. We've been discussing things about it. I think they just extended his contract for another 3 years. So
Right.
there's that factor anyway. But I was noticing how the guys were playing the last 5 weeks of the season, and I was just so disappointed. I think with all the just the mediocre level of playing that they've been able to maintain over the years,
Right.
I just feel like it's an internal thing more than it is a Tomlin thing. Um, and if they just really get on board, and maybe some players need to be switched out. I don't think that us juggling two quarterbacks throughout the season helped us, you know. But I'm really curious to see what happens in the off season during training camp if we can just stabilize and settle into a routine because my team the last 5 weeks of the season where they were like unrecognizable.
Right.
I'm not saying that they were outstanding. I'm not even saying that we were going to the Super Bowl this year, but the way we ended, I don't think that's on Mike Tomlin. I would be shocked if
Well,
that was
I
on Mike
totally agree
Tomlin.
with you.
well, but first of all, this is not an indictment on Mike Tomlin. What my argument is given the organization and given how things have been these last 5 years, is it the right situation for him? And can they do what needs to get done to get to that next? We know you guys are going to go over 500 every year. He's shown that 18 years in a row. We know that. But this is a championship league. You got to win championships.
I think what she's missing is you were disappointed and you saw the level of talent you had on your team. You won games
Mhm.
due to Mike Tomlin. The level of talent on your team is mediocre at best. Your team, you have a great wide receiver. In the NFL, you're supposed to have four or four decent wide receivers, at least two great.
Right.
You guys have
Right.
a great wide receiver. Well, what's the name of the tight end?
Fire move.
Yeah, he's decent, but your running back is like Ezekiel Elliott to me. He does okay. He has his games. He's
Everybody's decent.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, but it's nothing superstar about this team anymore. And Mike Tomlin does a
No,
great job of putting people in the right position. He watches film, and like I said, he sticks people in places where chess pieces to make you guys win games that you probably shouldn't win.
Right.
But by having a great coach, he knew what they were going to do, so he put you in a situation to win that game. You guys snuck away with some games.
but that's really what I was talking about the last 5 games of this season, because there's been a lot of talk about because of the way we ended the season, Mike should go. You know how people get their panties in a bunch when you just a bunch of bad stuff starts happening. Now, had we won the first round in the playoffs, or we'd still be the same team that was maybe still half showing up the end of the season, but we'd have won one game to advance. You know what I'm saying?
Fan
I
bases
wouldn't have
want
been
to win
shocked that
now.
But
we're
that's our whole argument,
exactly.
though. But you're
And
in
I
a
don't think
tough
we have
division.
the
You
Super tough.
super you guys are not in the same league with the Ravens. I mean, we watched it. Ravens ran all over you for like almost 300 yards. I mean, it was a total domination
You guys
in
shouldn't
that
have made
game.
the playoffs.
I mean,
You made the playoffs by
it's
merit, but you rank nowhere near the worst team in the playoffs. Where are the Pittsburgh Steelers?
right.
now you're just being
No, it's
disrespectful.
not disrespect,
Okay.
but
No,
that's being
it's
honest.
not. It's
Honesty. We have to sometimes look at things in an honest way.
you guys
It's not.
rank close to the Broncos, and the Broncos are still better than you guys.
I mean, listen to me, that's just an honest assessment. I mean, when you assess the
I just
team, go ahead.
I just think that we're largely inconsistent. And this was the perfect display. Usually, at least for the past, we'll say 5 years, we start off slow, and somehow we manage to end 8-8 or be negative in the or be positive in the wins somehow. But that still screams inconsistency. So we started off a little bit better, and then we just took a nosedive at the end. You know, I think Mike, the type of coach, he's a developer. You give him nothing, and he's gonna make
Okay.
something out of it
Well,
almost 10 out of 10
well,
times.
let me ask
You
you,
know,
LaShawn, who on your team right now can you develop that's going to make a difference between where the Ravens are? Because your division is based upon the Ravens. Ravens are the dominant team in your division. You got to get past them. Who on your entire team can you look at other than TJ Watt for his position? Who on your entire team can you look at and say that player is better than the player on the Ravens in any position? Quarterback, running backs, wide receivers.
Somebody's a little quiet.
so here's the thing. I don't think, I mean, just being honest, that I can say that player for player up against the Ravens team, if I'm being honest.
Right.
And the sad part is, like, even with Najee, I love Najee, like he's my little brother. But I think the hopes that they had for him to rise up past where he still currently is
Right.
didn't happen in the time frame they thought it would happen.
Right.
So back to you guys' point, I'm not totally dispelling what you were saying about not having the stars there. Just like, especially what's the running back for um for Baltimore?
Come on, Derrick Henry.
No, not for Baltimore. Derrick Henry,
Yes.
who everybody gave up on due to his age and previous injuries.
Right.
Like, we haven't had someone that we could fall back on and bank and really just get behind like that. It was
Since the
supposed to be
bus.
a
Right.
growing team,
And keep in mind that
and they just.
he was a free agent. You guys could have got him. He was somebody who
You
was
said,
out
repeat
there.
that.
No, I said Derrick Henry was a free agent. You guys could have went out and tried to get him.
I know.
But thank you for calling in. We got
Good
another
for
phone call
him.
coming in. We appreciate the support.
All right. Thank you, LaShawn. We got.
All right, have a
We're
good
going to
night.
talk to you more about this. Don't you? Please call in next week.
Okay.
All right.
Blood Ocean Sports, who's calling?
Mike in the building.
Oh, what's going on, sir? How you doing?
All right.
Right.
Mr.
How about
49er
yourself?
himself.
Yes.
We talked to
Yes,
another
sir.
49er fan earlier.
Yeah, I heard my partner. I heard him. You know, he was doing his thing.
Well, we were about to get
But
up out of
y'all,
here, so we want to get your picks real quick. Where you calling from again, Mike?
Los Angeles,
Yes, sir. Who you going with, the Texans Chiefs?
Chiefs,
Who you going with, Washington Lions?
Lions,
Rams Eagles.
Rams,
Oh,
Okay.
see? There we go.
2-2.
Ravens Bills.
Ravens.
Okay.
All right. You were 3 out of 4. Not bad. 3
He
out of 4 is not bad. But we do have to ask you though. What do you think on this Tomlin? How you feel about the Tomlin take? Do you think he's run? You know, we know he's a Hall of Fame coach, so we're not going to say that he doesn't deserve to be the Pittsburgh coach. But do you think that he needs to move on from Pittsburgh because there's just nowhere else for him to go at this point?
No, I don't think he needs to move on. What I think is he a great coach to me.
Oh, he's a great coach. Yeah,
he's a great coach. My
We-
cousin play on that team. My cousin is the safety number 23, DeMonte Casey.
Oh yeah, I know who he is. Okay,
So,
I know exactly who he
yeah,
is.
so I just think Pittsburgh to me look good. I just think they need another pass rusher and they need another wide receiver to help out what's his name? Pickens.
Right.
That's the only problem. They don't put enough pressure on the offensive line, and then they don't have that. Once they double that wide receiver, the rest is you see he's the only one that he can throw to. Nobody else wasn't really getting the ball.
Well, that's
that's
the plan for this offseason.
Right.
They got to be going after a couple wide receivers.
Yeah, but
that's what hurt them. I think if they had another wide receiver and the pass rusher, okay, tell me who was the other person that helping TJ Watt?
They don't have. I mean, we agree with you, but they don't have it. But the
That's
issue
what
is
I'm
going.
saying. So yeah, if they had another person to help out TJ Watt and another wide receiver or two, I think they would have went farther in the playoff. I really do.
Okay, all right,
That's my honest opinion.
all right. My whole thing is that everything starts and stops with the Ravens in your division. If you can't get a team better than the Ravens, then you're just going to be a wild card, and and your chances are going to be little to none to go into the playoff. And that's been the Steelers' problem, is that they're a persistent wild card. I can't.
Yeah,
When was the last time Steelers won the division? I mean, you have to go back to Big Ben. That the last time that the
yeah.
Steelers were division champion, and so
Last time they were elite.
yeah, and that's that's the struggle that Pittsburgh has, is that they're consistently a wild card, and
And you got to remember
Okay.
back then they had people like Palomalu,
right,
Hines Ward, Ben Roethlisberger. They had name after name
Santonio
after
Holmes.
name after name.
Right. Yeah.
But look at all the other years they haven't. Tomlin is like the young lady said. He taking mediocre people and making them play. Man.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
what more you can ask for? I think he's doing a great job.
no, I
don't think.
like I said, I don't think it's an issue that
he's
they're doing a great job. I just think it's an issue of they're stuck in that middle rut of being 11-5, 10-6, being a wild card, getting knocked down in the first round, and then you're back into Groundhog Day again. It's going to be the same thing next year.
And I'm with Steve on his assessment of the team, but I think Mike Tomlin, like you said, Mike, is just a couple players away. You say one wide receiver. I think with Pickens, get him 2 wide receivers over there, keep Russell Wilson, and they could do something. Because they can't go out and get another quarterback right now.
No.
Keep the quarterbacks they have. Go get 2 hot wide receivers, the defense, and throw another defensive edge guy on the other side, or grab 2 of them to give Watt a rest, so when he come in, he can beast every time, and that's a completely different team.
I agree. I agree. That's what I see in them. I don't see nothing else. They had those pieces we just mentioned. We wouldn't be sitting here talking about that right now because it'd be a whole different team.
Yes, sir. But thank you for your support. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And please call us next week. I'm going to get these.
This divisional round is going to be something great.
Else.
Oh, it's going to be something great.
Yes. So one last thing. I know we got to go, but we got one last thing to just bring up real quick. College Football Hall of Fame came out with their elected people they're going to have in the College Football Hall of Fame. The big names in there: Michael Vick. We all know his greatness in college with Virginia Tech. Michael Strahan. And then we have for 2 coaches, Nick Saban and Urban Meyer. So this is an elite College Football Hall of Fame class this year. So I just want to bring those out.
That was all big names.
All big names. So so that's going to be an interesting thing. But we're looking forward to the games, Mike. We're gonna see. If you're correct. I like all your picks. The Rams won. Like I said, I told you my reason why. What's his name don't play good in the cold. Historically, Matthew Stafford has struggled in cold weather games in the winter, and so I think you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And so,
and I'm saying the Rams are playing inspired ball with all the homes lost in Los Angeles and all the people out here that's going through it. The Rams are trying to give everybody an outlet, something to look forward to, and some hope for Los Angeles. And that inspired ball does a lot. Inspired ball can change a game. That's all I'm saying. Eagles should do their thing, but the Rams, my goodness, that.
Okay, I'm gonna say this and let you guys go. If the Eagles can hold number 8, number 0, and number 91, then they might have a chance. Them 3 guys, remember I told you, 0, 8, and 91. If you see them in the backfield 90-some% of the time, it's over for the Eagles.
It's gonna be a long game, and I'm glad you brought that out because wow.
I'm glad you brought it up. The difference though is that unlike last week where they had a Sam Darnold who was a statue back there saying, come hit me, come hit me. Jaden Hurst is not going to sit there and just stand there for 8 seconds. He's going to get out there and run. So that's going to be the big difference.
That's going to be scary too, because if that head hit that ground hard.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother story.
And if they get a bull rush going, because a lot of people close their eyes on how fast that defensive line was in on Sam on about a bunch of those plays where as soon as he looked up, they were in his face. Oh my god! And you know what? There was a couple of questionable calls. The helmet to helmet.
They need to change that.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
The helmet to helmet call in one game wasn't helmet to helmet.
Right.
And then there was another ball. What game was that where they tackled the man and he looked like he went up, he was unconscious for a couple of seconds.
Right.
But it was on a kickoff return and they didn't call helmet to helmet on that. But when the guy hit him with the shoulder and he didn't even give him a good one, he was trying to back off. They said going to the head.
Well, we've long gone to this whole thing about that. So I mean, that's the NFL officiating still has not changed, and so I do want to ask you one question right before. I know you need to go, but when we had AJ Brown reading the book on the sidelines, this guy over here, this guy next to me, tried to then say, "Don't read anything into it." This man has this huge book holding up like this so the cameras can see, which is a self-help book. And I'm sitting here saying, that's his, I want out of town. This guy's not getting me the ball. Get me out of Philadelphia. And he's saying,
no way. There's no way he should be over there on the sideline. Well, the only book he should have in his hand
is the playbook. Thank you. He has this huge book, easy for the camera to read, which everybody knows is a self-help book for athletes. If that's not a message, I don't know what is.
If you think that man on a Super Bowl team, a team that could win the Super Bowl every season, once out,
yes,
you could be a Tyreek Hill if you want to. One out of the best situation that you have,
yes,
to go to a worse situation, and then one out that situation could be a Tyreek if you want to.
Give me the ball.
Hey, it is what it is. Thanks, Mike, for calling in.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
All right, you guys have a great night.
You too.
All right. Man, we got to get up out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in.
All right.
Please like, subscribe, and share. Tell a friend, tell another friend about the show because we on the grow. Thank you.
Absolutely. We love you guys. Enjoy. What's this? This is called divisional round. What do they call this round now? They keep changing the name so much.
Divisional playoff.
Different playoff. Yeah, I know. Divisional playoff round.
Yes,
so
sir.
Usually you're supposed to get the best games this weekend. You got the top two teams at home. So we'll see. We'll see if the games hopefully hold up to the hype.
They should. There's going to be some great games. Real quick, if you want to bet on something, Kansas City and the Lions, and I would take the Rams with the points, and you'd be all right. Because it's going to be a close game no matter what. It ain't going to be a blowout.
And take Ohio State. Throwing the college football one in.
He always does that little throw
that little college football game in there.
I'm going with Notre Dame. How can I throw in Ohio State?
You're going to lose.
We'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Peace out.
Peace.